We just picked up the lens in Sirius. Let's go get it polished.
You buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum. Most you buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum. Most good. You buy
I once
kebab.
read a list of
You
low
buy
stress.
kebab.
It didn't
Yum.
include,
Most
obviously,
good.
this.
You buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum. Most good. You buy kebab.
No kebabs
You
here.
buy kebab. Yum. You buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum. Most good.
Let's not have volume. Why it's not playing any music.
Excuse me, Father.
Pardon?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Not at all, monsieur. It will be my pleasure to help you.
What
What's
do you
this?
make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know, it is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
Gonna polish our crystal.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove.
Like a glove.
Hey! A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. MCCCXIV. That's 1314. A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date.
I leave the lens there.
A scroll was a symbol of scholarship.
So.
Hello again, Father. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
Did you know that the center window conceals an image of a man burning at the stake?
The Burning Man?
What, you knew?
That there was a hidden image? No. But the church has a reputation for being haunted. Many times people have claimed to have seen a burning man in the window. But when others they look, there is nothing. Perhaps the light has to be just so for the figure to appear.
Yeah, or maybe you need a special lens. You must be proud to have such an incredible collection of stained glass.
Pride is a sin, monsieur, but it is hard not to marvel when the light shines through them. It is a fine example of the artisan's genius.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
You have come to the right place, if that is your interest. Many of them were executed in the square outside. It was a disgrace to France.
Well, the Pope was right behind it, though.
Clement V was a man of mammon, not of God.
That's kind of forthright for a priest, isn't it?
You think so? It is hard to be sure what happened. It is so long ago.
How long have you worked here?
Hardly work, monsieur. This is a calling. I have been helping Father Flambert for nearly 6 months now.
I guess you don't know much about the history of this church then.
Just a little.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Pretty sure he means tell the Countess Costa Lasards about where her family's buried.
Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcelos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcelos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. The tomb of Don... I couldn't wait to tell the Countess. I'd have to find out what the chalice was for first, though. It was hard to believe it was the same chalice. Now the light gleamed off its perfect surface.
Does this fella know those Bible verses?
Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur.
No.
Boy, what a shine you got on this.
Merci. It is all in the wrist action.
You've got quite a shine on that candlestick.
Ah oui. Anything less than best would be an insult to the Almighty.
I guess so. I never thought of it like that. Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Could also talk to Labino. You might know. So weird not having the music.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. Where have you been? Nicole said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes. What is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In occidenta cita est in ora mundi.
Come on, Stewie!
Lies at
Is
the edge
that
of the
a
world to
Stewie
the
I
west.
hear?
Strange.
Walking
That map
into
seems
my
to contain
stream.
a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with three
You buy
bearded
kebab.
faces.
You
Horrible.
buy kebab.
That
You buy
seems
kebab.
as if it could be
You buy
Baphomet,
kebab.
the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
at the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
What do you make of this cup, Andre?
It's a 14th century communion vessel. Spanish, probably.
You sure know your onions. Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Doing terribly and very disappointed in the Ever Crisis event. It has one story where they just, well, it's one story cutscene thing where they just go to a portal and then you just fight on a ship. Side to Baphomet! Thank you, Fooey Stewbar, for the £20. Tweet myself before I concrete myself? Is that for my kebabs, is it? Am I joining Snipes in his dining experience?
Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions.
It's strange how it also gave the bit boss to Fooey Stewbar and didn't use your Twitch account for it.
What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoked so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là...
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Hey man, nobody point a storm there.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier.
It's mine.
Hey, monsieur, get away from my paint pot.
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
But I love touching men's pots.
Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground.
I love holes.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door's locked, monsieur.
You do happen to have the keys, yes?
Hi again.
What is it?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Gave me all of the keys.
On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door.
He's done.
There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. A filthy wash basin hung on the wall.
Soap. Take an imprint in the soap.
I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap.
Good thing I still have plaster of Paris.
I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key.
I use the water. Drip, drip, drip in, drip out all day. Oh, this
I
is
didn't want to use that.
those weird pixel things.
The cold tap's washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink.
Dribble, dribble, dribble. Several minutes later.
Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key. Way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well. Maybe not.
Oh? Oh, I can use it in the paint bucket. I think I need to give him back the real keys first.
Hi again.
What is it?
You have your keys.
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I think we call Nico to call the guy so he moves.
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Hi, Nico?
George, what have you discovered?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Is something wrong?
No.
George, why are you calling me?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You did. Well, this is my voice saying, don't bother me, I'm busy.
Oh.
Rude. Now he's got to find Reno.
Hey, monsieur, get away from my paint pot.
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Puh.
Can I ask
Hi,
permission?
it's me again.
What now?
I made this key out of plaster.
How thrilling! How clever! How pointless.
I was pretty sure the shaken shock had shot its bolt in Syria. Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
See if Nico will now be a distraction for me.
Cooler.
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Goodbye, George.
No, wait a minute. I need your help.
What kind of help? I told you I'm busy.
This will only take a few minutes, I promise.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him.
Once I get the pot, then I get the money, then I get the women.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? You must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
Didn't take much convincing. Confident man.
The plaster key had soaked up the paint nicely, and now looked pretty convincing. Still felt like plaster, though.
Use this, just dip it out.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
Why, abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial.
Got a cigarette to finish, and he's got
What is it?
another cigarette to finish. He does like chains.
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
I need to use the,
So make it
toilet
cold,
again.
then he won't feel the
Again?
plaster.
Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Oh, nope, I need to use the key. Because he doesn't have the capacity to use his keys, so I tell him to.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing.
I turned the heating off.
Got his gloves on, he's ready to party.
Hi again.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Nico, Distraction Act.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, George.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you. It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Pah! Don't pah me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss.
But the drama of two Frenchmen talking to each other in English. Okay, I think the music might be broken, so I'm gonna save and read. Still nothing, so I'm gonna close the game and open. Because the game is generally quiet, but I swear there's meant to be music in here.
Paris in the fall, the last months of the year and the end of the millennium. As I picked myself up, life went on around.
course, the capture decides, hey, this isn't a real thing. Yeah. Maybe there's no music in this area and I'm remembering wrong.
I couldn't see anything useful to do with the planks.
I'm not a real fit.
There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. Close up, the pattern, it fanned out.
Use the chalice, but it's just not good here. Yeah, there we go.
And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower.
That narrows it down.
I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.
Sounds like she misses me already.
I'd been planning to return the chalice anyway, but I hadn't expected the trail to bring me here. The Villa de Vasconcelos was as picturesque as ever. The weather was still clear, and Lopez was still watering the damn lawn. I was beginning to suspect that he was surgically attached to that hose.
There's a rainbow in the water.
Hi there, Lopez. How's tricks?
Senor Stobart, how pleasant to see you. You are well.
Fine, thanks. Is the Countess in?
She is waiting for you. I will show you up.
It's okay, I know the way.
Senor Stobart, I feel I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
I was impolite on our first meeting.
Look, Lopez, just forget about it. I came on like a snake oil merchant. I wouldn't have trusted me in your shoes.
You do not understand. Finding the chalice has given my lady a new lease of life. It's a marvel. She smiles, she laughs. The tradesmen are saying that she is on Prozac.
Hello, Haruka.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
What's the story behind the chalice vanishing?
When the Inquisition raided, in the absence of Don Carlos, it was believed that they had taken it. Naturally, they denied the charge as they denied taking the children. And naturally, nobody believed them.
But they were telling the truth. The chalice was hidden from them. You don't suppose they were telling the truth about the children as well, do you?
Madre de Dios! I had not thought of that. But then what happened to them?
I don't know. If the Inquisition didn't take them, then who did?
You must speak to my lady of these.
Count on it. So the Countess feels that the curse is lifted.
I would not put it so strongly. Your discovery of the chalice was proof that the Templars never abandoned the De Vasconcelos. It counts for a great deal with my lady.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
Going into the house, gonna meet some dogs. I could also act like a Dragon Quest protagonist and start stealing stuff.
It was just a little utility room with no exit, unless you counted the window, and I didn't. It was just unless you...
A mirror for me.
Senor Stobart, what a pleasure. Please, sit down.
Hi, Countess. The pleasure's all mine. I've brought back your chalice.
Why? You've had it cleaned.
Yeah, I met an obliging priest with a soft cloth.
Have you resolved the Templar mystery?
No, not yet. I don't even know what it is I'm after.
There are many stories of the knight secreting great wealth away.
Whatever. All I know is I don't want the bad guys to get it.
Ah, to be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
I discovered something amazing with that chalice. In Paris, I found a church where they recognized the coat of arms. I found the tomb of Don Carlos de Vasconcelos.
You are sure? There can be no mistake?
The coat of arms on the chalice matches the one on the tomb.
Incredible. You have my most profound thanks. I must go there as soon as possible.
Yeah? Well, I'd be happy to show you the city. There's something else that I discovered carved on Don Carlos's tomb. Biblical references.
What are the references, Senor Stobart?
Psalms 32:7, Corinthians.
I am not a good enough scholar to know the Bible chapter and verse. I meant, what are the quotations?
You know, I forgot to ask the priest. There's still the mystery of the missing chess piece.
I do not think that it will ever be discovered unless the fate of the children is revealed.
The Inquisition
They met Anakin.
was suspected of taking the chalice and the kids, right? We know now they were innocent of the first crime. What if...
They did not take the children either. Then what happened to them?
The Inquisition admitted to killing Don Carlos's manservant. Now, this guy had been told to protect the kids at all costs, right?
That is correct.
I think he hid them and the chalice when he got wind that the Inquisition was coming. With him dead, and Don Carlos driven mad with grief, there was nobody left who knew the secret. You know what this means, don't you?
I fear so. The children are still here somewhere. If this is so, then it is small wonder that the De Vasconcelos are cursed.
I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home.
Go to the mausoleum because there is a Bible where we did the chess puzzle. You think she's a hunter? Or is that what trespassed on the law? I sprayed me with water. I can't be touched with water after midnight.
It was the Spanish Bible I borrowed from the mausoleum.
Oh, Spanish. Needs a translator. So, Snipes, you got room at your table for me? And all of our kebabs?
Hello again. Here's the Bible from the mausoleum.
Very well. Let us begin. The first reference.
Psalms 32:7.
Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. My hiding place.
Don't get your hopes up too high. This might just be leading us to where we found the chalice.
You are right, of course. The next.
Okay, John 4:11.
John 4:11. Here. The well is deep. The next. Quickly.
Okay. Corinthians 4:5.
Here it is. Will bring to light the hidden things. Any more?
Just one. Psalms again. 22:21.
Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. The last is confusing. Lions, unicorns, what does it mean?
I can't guess.
Salient points seem to be a hiding place and a deep well. In no sense is the mausoleum a well, Senor Stobart.
Is there a well in the grounds?
I do not know. I suppose that there must have been once upon a time. Lopez is the man to ask about anything pertaining to the estate.
Off to Lopez
I'll just
I
have another look
go.
around.
Very well.
Hey, Lopez. You got a place where you're taking all that water from?
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor.
You must know just about everything that there is to know about this place.
See, I have lived my whole life here in the service of the Vasconcelos.
Do you know of a well anywhere around here?
A well? Si, senor. This used to be a fortified villa. How can you last a siege without water?
Great! So where is it?
How should I know? The well was covered over in the last century. It was dangerous, you see.
And you have no idea where it was?
None. It was hidden even before my grandfather's time.
You must have a vague idea of where the well is.
It must have been in the old house's courtyard, so that would put it around here.
Here? Okay. Now, how do we find it?
There might be a way. Let me think about it.
Any ideas yet?
Not as yet.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
We need to light the way, so can I now use that torch Dowser, snuffer, whatever it is. I think, is it called a snuffer? Because the light reveals the key and you gotta light this. Goodbye to the sewer paper. Look at those fire effects from 96.
The candle had burnt brilliantly, but only for a couple of minutes. Some kind of special formulation, I guess. And had yielded up this. A complex shape expertly cut in stone. I figured it was some kind of key. It was a smooth, intricately carved piece of stone that had been concealed inside the great candle. The tissue was pretty charred, but the grease paint had done most of the burning.
Lopez, you found that well? I've got a key.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Any ideas yet?
We are looking for a source of water, see?
Yes.
For generations, the Spanish country folk have had a secret way of locating water, even if it is meters beneath the ground.
Ah, you're not talking about water dousing, are you?
Eh?
You know, you get a stick and walk around until the stick twitches and dig there.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, I think most of the planet has. Okay, let's get a stick.
Uno momento. It must be a special stick, a Y of hazel.
Right. Do you have any hazel trees?
See, here. That is hazel.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
It's very vague on where it is, but I know where it is.
I went over to find a suitable stick. Aha! Hi, Lopez. Got...
Certainly, senor.
Well, I got my divining rod. Now what?
Simplicity itself, senor. Hold the wand at the upper ends of the Y. Apply a little tension with your wrists so that the slightest movement of the wand's tip is clear, and walk slowly and steadily over the area.
Sounds easy enough. We'll find this well in no time.
Doesn't help if you keep using your hose.
Senor Stobart, you've found something.
This is it. This is where we find the secret of the Templars. Hidden here for hundreds of years. Lost from the sight of man until now. The mystery is revealed.
It's a tin can.
I've been walking up and down with a twig in my hands, looking for a tin can.
It had water in it. That's what the dowsing stick must have detected.
I'd have to check with an archaeologist, but I don't think the Templars left that.
In truth, Senor Stobart, the loan was laid many, many years ago. This can could date back to the Napoleonic Wars.
Get rid of it and I'll try it again. Lopez threw the can away. It seemed to fall an awfully long way. The splash at the end confirmed what we both suspected. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
It has been here all the time. All those years and nobody found it.
Stood in awe for a moment, marveling at the secrets all around us.
I could have fallen down that.
The well had been lost for decades at least. The air was cool after the noon sun, but that's not what gave me goosebumps. I have a really, really bad feeling about this.
It's fine. There's a boy trapped in the Wii.
A great stone lion's head with a gaping maw full of fangs. As far as I knew, nobody had cast eyes upon it for centuries as it stood, waiting in the cool shadows. The words of the psalm kept running through my head. Save me from the lion's mouth. From a distance, the lion's head had been impressive. Close up, it was frightening. Hey, one of the fangs is a separate piece.
Be ready for death.
I could hear the sound of a lot of stone moving, and I knew I was in danger.
It's fine.
Senor Stobart! Senor Stobart! Are you all right? Senor Stobart!
Snake!
From a distance, close up. Hey!
Oh, snipes. If you stick around, we'll find something you'll enjoy.
And I knew. Oh, very funny, you psychos!
Senor Stobart! Senor Stobart! Are you all right?
It's okay, Lopez, I'm fine!
Que susto me has dado! You gave me a scare!
Nice try, Templars. I wish that I had Leary's flashlight now. It just felt like a pitted stone wall. I'd almost been killed for the sake of a red herring.
But you know, we have a mirror.
There, in the middle of the door, I could see some kind of socket.
It looked like this wasn't quite the dead end it had seemed.
This is where the key goes.
Open sesame! Another secret door.
There's the dead kids.
Before I left, though, there was one last thing to do.
You won't be needing that replacement piece anymore, Countess. I found it with the children. You'll probably want to be alone for a while. I'll be out in the garden with Lopez.
George, welcome back.
Come in, George. It's good to see you again.
Is it?
Sure. What did you find in Spain?
Without Andre, we wouldn't have got this far, George.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody's jealous.
The clues led to an underground chamber at the bottom of a well. The Templars had left a tapestry showing a chessboard. The white pieces were vastly outnumbered. There was a stream running across the board, and a Templar knight on a horse.
Does it mean anything to you, Andre?
No, nothing.
Maybe we should tell Andre what else you found, George.
There's a map and a Latin inscription to the west at the edge of the world.
George found that in a cave in Syria.
Yeah, where the assassin almost killed me.
Then we've got the burning of Jacques de Molay and the date, 1314.
From the window of the church in Montfaucon Square, one of the few places where nobody tried to kill me.
Then we have the image of a church that George found at the excavation. I don't recall anyone trying to kill you there either, George.
And finally we have the tapestry in Spain. Did I mention I almost got killed there?
Not yet, but I'm sure you're about to.
It was only my cat-like reflexes that saved me from certain death.
Cat-like reflexes, eh?
And while I was risking life and limb, where were you, Andre? Getting your glasses fogged up over an Etruscan vase?
That's enough, boys. Can we get back to saving the world?
Of course. My apologies.
He started it.
Well, the Latin phrase are the words of Julius Caesar. He was describing the island of Britain.
Are you sure? The map didn't look much like Britain.
How come Caesar described Britain as being at the edge of the world?
To the Romans, the Mediterranean was the center of the universe. Britain was a remote, unfriendly place inhabited by blue-painted savages.
How dare
It
you!
hasn't changed much.
We don't
They
use
stopped
blue paint
painting
anymore.
themselves blue.
Except when they go to a football match.
They used an extract from a plant called woad, Icetis tinctoria. The Scots were using it until fairly recently in the wars with the English.
Fairly recently? I don't recall the Scots being at war with the English. How recently are you talking about?
I believe William Wallace's men used it in the 13th century. They might well have been using it as late as...
You can't remember, can you?
1314.
Ah, we're back onto that, are we?
Andre, what is it? What do you mean?
1314 in Scotland. The Battle of Bannockburn.
That would explain the stream on the chessboard. That's what a burn is. Right, Andre? As in Bannockburn?
Right, George. And it gets better. Tradition has it that the Scots were helped by a shock force of, well, can't you guess?
Knights Templar?
Yes, a group of outlawed Templars. They are said to have turned the tide for the Scots.
And it all ends at a church in the Isle of Britain at Bannockburn in a church.
What are we waiting for? I'll call a cab.
Snipes, it's your time!
I can't go.
Andre, you've been loads of hell, but...
What George is trying to say is that you shouldn't feel guilty.
I was?
We understand you've got commitments. Oh, listen, we have to hurry.
Cake? Where's my cake?
We'll see it through. Oh, and, don't worry about us.
Are you ready, Snipes? Are you ready? Your favourite part, or will be your favourite part of the game.
Oh, it must be done.
Oh, I guess so. And we must be nearly there.
Go on
Somewhere,
Hogwarts.
out there in the dark, is Scotland. We've come a long way together to get here.
Yeah. Let's hope it was worth it.
There's something I've been meaning to say to you, Nico.
Is this the right time and place, Josh?
There might not be another time. I don't want to waste this chance.
You don't need to say anything. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But here, with you. Now.
You're exhausted. Why don't you get some sleep?
Sleep? At a time like this?
Excited, huh?
Would you like something to help you sleep, dearie? I've got some tablets in my bag.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Thanks all the same, ma'am.
Where are you going, Josh?
Do I need to spell it out?
Don't snap at me. If you're going to take a leak, why don't you say so?
Okay, I'm going to take a leak. L-E-A-K.
Tickets, please.
Oh, hi.
That's a standard full-price peak return. Don't you have a senior citizen's rail card?
I rarely travel by train. My ticket is perfectly valid, is it not?
Well, yeah, but you could have saved up to a third of the cost.
I do not need to indulge in puffling thriftiness.
Blimey, you're a funny old bird and no mistake. Tickets, please, sir.
Here.
Off to Stirling, eh?
Yes, we are.
Well, I hope you won't be disappointed. It's a miserable place this time of year. Still, there's plenty of pubs and a lovely view from the castle.
Thank you.
I don't want to worry you, but there was something familiar about that guy.
Are you sure? You're tired. Perhaps you're mistaken.
Maybe. But I didn't like the look in his eyes when he spoke to you.
Can't you sit still, George?
I need to go to the John.
While you're there, check out the buffet car, George. Unthinkable though it is, I am hungry enough to eat English food.
How dare you? Don't you like beige?
Oh, no. That gangster creep from the hotel, Guido. Well, he didn't scare me.
Hey, Buster. This is a no-smoking car.
Okay, maybe he did scare me. It got worse. I suddenly realized who the conductor had reminded me of. Eklund, Marquet's murderer.
And I waddled away, waddle waddle.
I should have known better than to leave Nico and the old lady alone. Suddenly, the sword of Baphomet took second place to finding the girl I loved.
It's fine.
Hi. Having a party?
No, this is British. Come on, join us, man. Away, Basha, wake up, man. What's company?
His breath was like the outlet from a chemical factory.
Excuse my mate, he's taking a nap. Sleeping like a bobby. I'll wake him up when we get to Newcastle.
We passed through Newcastle half an hour ago.
And I never noticed.
Did you see what happened to the young woman in the next compartment?
No, Paul, I didn't. Have you lost her, like?
She's disappeared. The old lady, too. I think they're in trouble.
Away, man, an old lady, too.
Yeah. You gotta help me.
Maybe they went to the toilet, like.
I don't think so.
They never go on their own. Always in pairs, you know.
No, she's been abducted, I'm sure. I've got to go look for her.
What's stopping you, pal?
The conductor. He's not what he seems.
You want to avoid him, like?
That's about it, yeah.
No problem.
Listen, I need your help.
What's the matter?
There's a guy on this train who's trying to kill me.
Relax, man. You wouldn't try nothing with us in Basharia. We are veterans, like. Slow action at Brightlingsea.
I don't recall the British Army being involved in a conflict at anywhere called Brightlingsea.
Well, you just take it from me, pal. You're in safe hands.
What is that stuff you're drinking? It smells like gasoline.
Aye, I'll put hairs in your chest, like.
On your eyeballs, too, by the looks of you. See you later.
Don't do it, pal. Don't jump.
I don't intend to jump. I'm going to climb on top of the train.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Just watch me.
Hold on there, pal. I'll give you a hand, like.
Gonna find Squall up here.
I'd always wanted to stop a train, and now was my chance. You saved our lives, but why?
We were always on the same side, Stobart. Different causes, but a common enemy.
The Knights Templar?
Don't call them that. The real Templars were a noble foe. These barbarians have no right to that name. These men are no better than dogs.
What are the Neo-Templars after? What is the Sword of Baphomet?
Not what you think, my friend. It is a weapon, yes, but one which our enemies will find difficult to wield. A double-edged sword. A power older than Timolay, older than Solomon.
We'll stop them. You and me together. And Nico.
No, George. My journey ends soon at the Garden of Paradise.
You're talking in riddles. Can't you tell me straight what they're after?
The sword symbolizes a colossal energy caused by the alignment of the Earth's natural power fields.
Which are focused at St. Ninian's.
The energy endowed the Templars with the power which made them great. A power which made them charismatic to such an extent they could control the will of all around them.
How did you escape from the bull's head?
It is a long walk from the cliff of the bull to the village Stobart. Fortunately, I know the ways of the wilderness. Also, I have a sister who keeps a garage just around the corner. May Allah guide you to our enemies.
Thanks.
One last thing.
What? What is it? He's dead.
Shame.
Nico looked good, even in robes.
Okay.
Nico looked good. The rear exit was barred and padlocked.
Don't even think about it, George.
What? Who?
Look me straight in the eye and tell me you weren't thinking of using that axe on Eklund.
Don't be foolish, woman. I was gonna use it on you.
Where do you think you're going?
Don't worry, I hadn't forgotten about you.
Answer me this instant, George Stobart.
I will, when I'm ready.
That's not fair, George.
No.
You took advantage while my hands were tied.
When Eklund pointed that gun at me, I thought I was gonna die. I thought of all the things I'd never get to do, and kissing you was at the top of my list.
George?
Uh-huh.
George, we've got to get off the train. Eklund could recover at any time.
So what are we waiting for?
Just had to assault her before we left.
What are you doing?
I'm out of here.
Not that door. Do you want to end up like Flap?
Not especially. What remains of him is well on his way back to London. I hope he was traveling on a return ticket.
Gonna find Hansel and Gretel now. Sad to say, the trip on the train's rather quick.
I'd feel happier if we had a gun or something.
Khan gave me something.
What?
His handbag.
Oh, great. If we run into any killers, we can give them a good buffeting. Didn't he have any weapons?
You don't know half of it. This bag's full of C4.
Wow. Why didn't you say so? Boy, we'll show them now. What's C4?
Plastic, George.
We're going to shop our way to victory?
2 kilos of plastic explosive. The detonator's broken now.
No problem. We'll buy a box of matches somewhere.
It doesn't
I've got
work
some
that
matches.
way. It takes a small explosion to start the big explosion.
Well, that's not much use then. What does that sign say?
Apparently during the English Civil War in the mid-17th century, this place was used as an arms dump.
Yeah? What happened?
Look at the state of this place, George. You work it out.
Right.
Oh, stray spark?
You got it. The tower was the only thing to survive the blast.
I hope the explosion didn't destroy the Sword of Baphomet.
Do you? I rather hope it did.
But think of all the power! It could be unlimited.
Examining the demon more closely, I realized something about its face. It was a clever illusion. No matter where I stood, the eyes weren't looking at me. There was a simple reason. The demon didn't have any eyes. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. The handle turned easily, and the larger wheel began to revolve. Damn! Then the handle came off in my hand. Now that the handle was gone, it was easy to remove the cog and spindle.
Find all the items.
I scrabbled around in the rubble and found an old clay pipe with a broken stem. Under one of the stones, I found a metal coin which was green with age.
One of the annoying parts, you got to search this like 4 times.
It was caked with soil, but what I'd found was a small cog and spindle. With mounting excitement, I felt something between my fingers. It was short, hard, and black. Something I hadn't expected to find here. It was a plastic pentop. I didn't find anything.
Alright. Now let's make a machination on its face. Because it has no eyes, because it's a mechanism.
The cog slipped neatly into the eye socket. With a rasp of metal on stone, I eased the second eye into place. I pushed the handle into the demon's mouth. The cogs all meshed. I began to turn.
Open sesame. Did you hear the ting of his teeth as he smiled?
As soon as I saw the flickering torches, I realized the bogus Templars had beaten us to the sword. But where were they now? And why was it so quiet?
Here's the last save of the game. And here's where it gets magical.
I can definitely hear chanting.
You're right. I hear it too. What do you suppose they're doing?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were holding some kind of satanic sex ritual.
So, what are we waiting for? Shh!
I want to be a part of this satanic sex ritual. Where's my invitation?
Will you look at that? Baphomet. Labino was right. This place was ancient even to the Templars.
This whole place? This is Baphomet?
Finally, the truth. The Templars had never worshipped this graven image, no more than they'd worship a rainbow. But, like a rainbow, they regarded it as a symbol of a covenant with God, who'd revealed this place to them.
Rosso! Why, the double-dealing treacherous?
On the contrary, Inspector Rosso has been the model of obedience, an important quality in a true Templar. Now be quiet and watch if you wish to live much longer.
brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to witness the reforging of the sword that was broken. Here before God's sentinel, Baphomet. Grand Master and Knight of Baphomet, we salute and pledge our obedience to you.
I salute you, gatekeeper of the temple. Seven centuries ago, our greatest weapon, the sword of Baphomet, was lost to us. Now we prepare to reforge it, to wield against new enemies. As the tired millennium dies, and this world looks for new leaders, we shall not fail. We shall lead the people to a new order, wherein all borders will dissolve. All will be united under the red cross of the Templars.
You buy kebab. You buy kebab. Yum, most good.
George, we have watched your efforts to stop us with respect. But surely you realize that you have been misled by our enemies. Both of us want a better world. Fortunately, no harm has been done. We need determined, resourceful men like you. Join us, George. Join us in true brotherhood.
Yeah. True. Wait. Brothers? What about Marquet? What about Pegram and Klausner? You didn't look on them as brothers, only as failures. 3 men dead, and you don't give a damn.
George, you know that sacrifices are necessary. Every great undertaking.
Join you. I'll see you in hell first.
Ah, George, I had great hopes for you. C'est la guerre. Eklund, kill him.
I swear, I just wanted things to be right.
Take them. Kill them. They will not escape.
Are you sure about that?
Well,
If it isn't the great detective and his beautiful assistant, it's going to be a pleasure killing the pair of you.
George, what are we going to do?
Burn him at the stake.
Come on, Nico. We're leaving.
You fools! You cannot escape us. Guido! Stop them.
But master, the powder!
That powder is from the English Civil War.
You fool.
It's over 300 years old.
How explosive do you think it can be?
I thought it was all over, but Nico had one last trick up her sleeve. Or in her handbag, to be exact. A handbag full of plastic explosives.
Maybe, but this stuff is brand new.
Oh,
Begin with an explosion, end with an explosion.
You know, you'll never be able to write your story now.
I don't care. I've got what I want.
Huh?
Just tell me one thing, George. Is our life together always going to be this crazy?
Possibly Snipes. But if you're around to see the second game, you'll see how many explosions there is. Not today, though. As I do have other things to do today. I was only meant to stream for an hour, but circumstances changed. Look at them old school credits. Hope the second game doesn't have as many issues with its Scrum VM if I use the original version as well on that. Other things to do? Yeah. I've got a job hunt. Otherwise, there's no possibility of streaming if I'm not having a house. Who put this paint on the credits? The end. It is the end of the world as we know it. Alright. Thank everybody for watching today. Sad to see the FF9 event for Ever Crisis is pretty shit, but had a good raid and finished off Broken Sword. Next stream is going to be tomorrow, where we do the FFD20 Pathfinder campaign. Then the morning of Tuesday, probably start Broken Sword 2. Then in towards the afternoon and evening, we'll be continuing Strange Brigade with a Prison. Then Thursday, probably continuing Broken Sword 2 if I still want to play those, and if my schedule isn't going to be changing around that much. So, if I don't see you any of those days, I shall see you all next time.
Stranger from the outside.
Rudy,